Number 1. The Close Encounters of Cossack. While there are a tremendous number of reported cases of eyewitness accounts of unidentified flying objects, it is very rare for eyewitnesses to report a direct sighting of an alien presence or terrestrial life form seen in clear detail during the event. This does not appear to be the case when analyzing the close encounters of the commune of Cossack located in France. On the 19th of August, back in 1967, two children, a 13-year-old boy and his 9-year-old sister, ran to the police and alerted them of a strange sighting. They claimed that as they were watching the cows in a nearby field, they noticed 4 small people covered in a weird dark material standing at roughly 47 inches tall. At first, they were not afraid of these strange people and originally thought they were other children around their age. But they began to panic when these beings suddenly began to rise in the air and float up toward a metal disc-like object floating above them, which was no more than roughly 15 feet in diameter. At first, the officers didn't know what to make of the kids' story, but noticed that the children appeared to be truly fearful as they continued to describe the scene in great detail. Quickly, the officers followed the children to the sighting and noticed a strange sulfur smell in the air near where the object was seen hovering, and a large patch of dried grass had suddenly appeared in the area. After the police filed the report of the incident, the French government stepped in and conducted their own private investigations of the event. They have yet to release any gathered information or investigation details. As time went on, the story died down, and the government felt compelled to keep all gathered details of the investigation a secret, refusing to acknowledge the case's existence up until March 2007, when the French government released hundreds of declassified UFO investigations on their government website over 40 years after the event. Number 2. Hundreds of millions of planets and the Andromeda Galaxy. The Andromeda Galaxy, alternatively known as Messier 31, M31, or NGC 224, was originally known as the Nebula Galaxy. The Andromeda Galaxy is the closest major spiral galaxy to our Milky Way, with a diameter of 220,000 light-years. Although we have several dozen galaxies closer, the Andromeda Galaxy can truly be seen on a clear night from a place with a dark sky. The distance of the galaxy to Earth is currently at 2,500,000.0 light-years. The current name given to the galaxy was derived from the Andromeda constellation, which appears in the Earth's sky. The Andromeda Galaxy has an estimated number of stars at about 1 trillion, which is about twice the number of stars in our Milky Way galaxy. About 10 billion years ago, the Andromeda Galaxy was formed from the collision and merger of protogalaxies. Initially, astronomers thought the Andromeda Galaxy was a solar system in the process of formation. However, in the 20th century, the Andromeda Galaxy was resolved into individual stars. Even though the Andromeda Galaxy has more stars than our Milky Way galaxy, its mass is not as much because the Milky Way is assumed to contain more dark matter. The Andromeda Galaxy has a concentrated bulge of matter in the middle, surrounded by a disk of gas, dust, and stars with an immense halo. The Andromeda has dwarf galaxies, just like the Milky Way, with about 14 known galaxies. The only 2 galaxies that are best known and readily observed are M32 and M110. In the next 4 billion years, astronomers estimate that the Andromeda Galaxy will collide with the Milky Way, and this merger will end after 6 billion years from now. The Andromeda Galaxy is approaching the Milky Way at about 68 miles per second. This collision will permanently change the structure of these 2 galaxies. However, before that time comes, the Sun will have swollen to a red giant, consuming terrestrial planets like Earth. We certainly have more to be concerned about before the collision between the 2 galaxies. Number 3. The Mokombembe. One of the most popular myths of a terrifyingly large creature roaming the lands of the Congo is that of the Mokombembe, known in its native language as the one who stops the flow of rivers. The creature's designs are similar to that of a sauropod dinosaur, a tall monstrosity with a long neck and a larger flowing tail to match. The size of its body is similar to that of a hippopotamus, up to an elephant, and it has a neck reportedly longer than 8 meters in length. Reports out of the Congo River Basin claim that the creature stands at more than 75 feet in length and hides in a thick forest located throughout the northernmost point of the Congo. Given the fact that the water could act like a natural form of buoyancy for the animal to grow to such sizes while also providing a rich source of prey and drinking water, It appears that the jungles of the Congo and the river basin would be a natural location for such a large creature. Legions of sightings of the creature go back thousands of years, according to the native tribes in the region, and reports of the creature range all the way up to the modern day, with even a group of French priests that traveled throughout the region confirming the sighting of this modern-day dinosaur. Though no evidence has been gathered of the creature in the modern day, many people believe that there will be more than enough evidence to surface in time. Number 4. Slayer Slab. Following mysteries surrounding the legends of the Knuckers and other dragon-like stories across England, the rumors surrounding the Slayer's slab continue to be one of the centers of folklore stories about a knight slaying the last Knucker found in England. According to the story, the King of Sussex believed that the Knucker living nearby their collection of villages was becoming far too powerful for any one man to defeat. This led him to approach a wide variety of knights in the hope that a small army could be formed, but no man was willing to fight for the king to slay such a beast. It was not until the King of Sussex offered his daughter's hand in marriage that a single knight came to the king in the hopes of defeating the dragon and wedding the princess. Of the 6 knights, it was this one who was willing to take on the challenge. The knights would go on to slay the dragon when they found it residing in a small pond referred to as its Knucker Hole located near Leominster. This knight earned the title of the Slayer after accomplishing such a feat after the beast was defeated. The knight returned to marry the daughter and later settled down in Leominster for the rest of his natural life. The Slayer would later pass away in the town, leading to the rumors of the Slayer's Slab, an unmarked gravestone located at a church in Leominster that has no name or marking on the tombstone except for a cross overlaying a herringbone pattern, which led many people to believe it's the grave of the Slayer that defeated the last dragon of England. Number 5. The Taos Hump. The small town of Taos, located in the southern state of New Mexico, is no stranger to odd reports and strange sightings. In fact, the small town is known for being a very laid-back artsy community and has been the town of origin for many famous celebrities of all kinds. It is no wonder then that when the initial reports of residents calling in about a strange humming sound of unknown origin, many speculated that it could have been nothing more than perhaps a modern art installation or a mundane cause. It did not take long, however, for this strange hum to be treated more seriously when further reports began coming in one after the other. Nicknamed the Taos Hum, this strange noise was first reported back in the early 1990s, sparking Joe Mullins, a local professor of engineering at the University of New Mexico, to conduct research into the matter. He found that the Taos Hum could only be heard by a very select group of people, making up about 2% of the local population. After setting up sensitive equipment and conducting extensive testing of the area, he could find no unusual vibrations or sounds. Whether the noise itself was caused by external or internal factors was completely undetermined. Not only did this puzzle the professor, but it seemed to be an unexplainable phenomenon for other researchers who looked into the matter. To this day, reports of a strange humming at different times of the day have been heard, and no one finds themselves any closer to an answer after all these years. Psychologists have posited that the Taos Hum could be nothing more than a form of mild mass hysteria, where many people claim to hear it due to becoming aware of the phenomenon. Interestingly enough, many claim that this cannot possibly be the case, as even many tourists visiting the area, unaware of the legends of the Taos Hum, claim to hear a strange humming noise upon entering the town. Number 6. The Phaistos Disc. The Phaistos Disc, found on the island of Crete, is a fired clay disc located inside the Minoan Palace of Phaistos. It has left many professional and amateur archaeologists struggling to decode the strange symbols found on the disc. Interestingly enough, it appears that the disc follows a lot of the same principles of modern-day discs, such as creating the symbols in an outward spiraling motion and having a spiraling line starting from the middle of the disc and radiating outwards. The symbols are not recognized as being a language of any kind and have left many wondering if they are instead a number of visual symbols that have no specific meaning but provide information based on context. Such examples of symbols like these in the modern day are that of stop signs, pedestrian crossing signs, and emojis. These are symbols used in everyday life but have no real decipherable language. Located on the face of the disc are a number of strange symbols that depict the heads of people, hides of animals, water, filters, and a number of strange tools that don't seem to repeat in any way. The disc also has two distinct sides, known as Side A and Side B, depicting different symbols with no real connection to the opposite side. This enigmatic and believed to be impossible to decipher text has led to a number of online forums dedicated to solving this strange artifact, with several different lists describing each symbol and trying to better understand the use and purpose behind it. Many have argued that if the symbols had no specific language, they would not be ordered on the disc in any way and would instead be randomly carved images. Given that they are in an ordered position and seem to face in a specific direction, it is believed that they may represent a decipherable language. Number 7. Henry Hudson's Mermaid. In 1608, Henry Hudson and his crew were passing through the cold waters of the Bering Sea when something strange happened. Hudson wrote the entire account in his journal. According to him, while passing through the Bering Sea, he had a very strange encounter with mermaids. He wrote that a mermaid saw the ship and its crew and disappeared into the sea. It returned after a while with a number of other mermaids. He described the mermaids as women with bodies as large as men in his crew. The mermaids had very white skin and long dark hair. The lower parts of their bodies had tails like dolphins with spots on them. Hudson was fascinated to see such an extraordinary discovery of mermaids. There have been many accounts of mermaid sightings during the past few centuries, and there is very little credibility in most of the accounts. Marine life experts believe that most of these sightings actually happened in areas where animals had tails like those of mermaids. One of the most common animals that can be mistaken for a mermaid is a manatee. However, Henry Hudson's case is quite different. The place where he saw these mermaids doesn't have any manatees. The clear description of the entire event by an experienced sailor like Henry Hudson leaves no chance that he and his crew mistook some other animals as mermaids. While many historians and marine biologists believe that the story of Henry Hudson could be entirely made up, there are some who believe that the sailor and his men saw something entirely unique that day. The people who believe in Henry Hudson's story are of the opinion that our limited knowledge about the oceans and marine life that resides in it makes it impossible for us to dismiss such accounts. Every year, thousands of new creatures are discovered in the seas around the world, and it is entirely possible that, if not mermaids, something that looks very much like them might be present in the depths of the seas or on uninhabited distant islands. Someday, we might just be able to discover them. Number 8. Black dogs of the British Isles. For reasons not entirely understood, there appear to be a string of reported incidents following similar descriptions of a black, ghost-like dog that has been seen all around the British Isles. Reports of such a creature come from various locations, including Aylesbury, Lyme Regis, Newgate, Northrop, and more, with many independent sightings from all throughout the area. According to witnesses, the black dogs of the British Isles are otherworldly apparitions, which many believe to be hellhounds ready to attack anyone nearby. They are described as larger than a normal dog, with a shadow-like body and glowing red eyes. Many claim to have encountered the creature shortly after a terrible storm or in areas associated with death, such as old places of execution and ancient buildings. Not much is known about these strange sightings, but they appear to be growing in number in recent years, with many claiming to have been attacked by a paranormal creature matching the description or even protected and guided by the shadowy beast when they were lost or in danger. Number 9. Sheep squash. Similar to its Sasquatch counterpart, the sheep squash of West Virginia stands at over 9 feet tall and seems to be a strange hybrid of a large, woolly man with the face of a ram and large curling horns to match. The creature is believed to be native to the forests of West Virginia, with numerous eyewitness reports of the creature coming from various woodlands and mountainous areas. In 1995, an incident involving a group of campers in the forest at night in an area located around a dense forest featured the monster in its entirety. According to the campers, they first heard what was described as the huffing and snorting of a bear in the region, only for the large sheep squash creature to come running out of the bushes and attempt to attack them. Although they ran away completely unharmed, they claimed they could hear the monster's terrible screams chasing them through the forest. Witness reports of the creature today vary, with some describing it as running on 2 legs and others as crawling on all 4s, often with a long tail behind it. Regardless of these variations in witness accounts, they all compare the monster to that of a ram and give it the name the sheep squash. Today, the creature is known to inhabit mountainous regions all throughout North America, as well as making rare appearances in the denser South American jungles located in Brazil. There has been no explanation of the creature, and it appears that any further evidence surrounding the creature's existence is up for question. Number 10. Mysterious tunnel beneath Mexican pyramids. A few years ago, archaeologists discovered a mysterious tunnel and chamber hidden beneath a 2,000-year-old pyramid during a study of the structure by researchers from the National Institute of Anthropology. The tunnel's entrance was found only a couple of weeks ago. The director of the conservation project, Veronica, stated that the tunnel is toward the south of the Plaza de la Luna, but it's likely that there is another entrance toward the eastern side. Archaeologists and researchers have suggested that the new chamber could contain human remains as well as other artifacts, some of which might resemble those discovered in other parts of the pyramids. The chamber is around 26 feet under the pyramid and is thought to have a diameter of 49 feet. It's a mystery who founded this ancient city and why the civilization collapsed. The Aztecs were among the first to discover these ancient ruins and decided to name it Teotihuacan, which means the place where men become gods. Since its discovery, it's been the site of many excavations. The Pyramid of the Moon was found to have been built on elevated ground, designed to reflect the hill in the background. Close by are 12 smaller pyramids, and research has estimated that the pyramid was built between 1 and 350 AD. Tombs have been discovered inside the pyramid, containing human remains and jewelry similar to those found in other parts of the pyramids. Some believe that the newly discovered chamber will most likely contain similar items. This ongoing discovery helps us better understand what life was like during this period.